as a player, I always enjoyed playing in a high intensity style. And mostly my experiences as a coach and the shaping that you have as a coach, and that's so many different things. Of course, most of my early coaching was in Tottenham's academy, and there were some fantastic people there at the time, and a really sort of forward-thinking academy philosophy where we were probably, ahead on certain aspects in terms of going to European tournaments, looking at European styles of play, probably from a tactical model point of view, fairly well ahead for the time. And we had a really good, playing style and playing philosophy through the academy at that point. And then you have your own experiences, and you work at different places, and you work in different contexts, and you develop your own beliefs. You watch other teams, of course, as a young coach. I watched, a lot of course, from whether it's Barcelona's or Thomas Tuchel at Dortmund or Maurizio at Tottenham. And as you're growing and developing as a coach, you're watching the best teams, you're watching the best coaches. There's bits from them teams that you like, that you want to adapt. And when you're coaching every day, you're adapting that as it goes along day by day. Your philosophy's evolving and developing, and you hope to someday get to the point where you can lead your own team and try and get it out on the pitch. So yeah, it's been a process really. You couldn't pin it down to one thing. I think it's an amalgamation of many years of coaching experience. I always said that the first influences you have in your career, I think, are maybe the most important. And for me, that was working in Tottenham's academy under a fantastic, academy manager, assistant academy manager, under 18s coach, and Alex Inglethorpe in a top environment. But then, everyone you cross along the way, you learn from. And of course, when you take the step to senior football, as I did at United, you learn a lot from those managers, and you learn from so many people along the way. So I think if I was putting it to one, it would have to be my wife, if I'm honest, because in terms of influence on a career, without her input, without her her assistance, her help, her support, and her understanding, and that's probably the one person I could say I definitely wouldn't have the career that I've had so far without her input. Other than that, I think from a football perspective, I've been blessed to come across so many different people. If you want to be competitive in games, if you want to get the best results you possibly can, I don't think you can make those sort of steps and just do what you want to do in every game. You have to adapt in different ways to the level, and we've tried to do that while still keeping the core essence of what we want to be as a team and what got us to this point. And that's been a big challenge this year, there's no doubt about it. But I think over the course of the season we've shown times and games and periods of games when we can be really aggressive and press high and be really brave with the ball and build through the pitch and find our connections and play through teams and attack really well. But also there's games where we've had to look at it and think, to be competitive in this game we need to defend a lot more compact, we need to defend a lot lower, we need to protect the space a lot more. And I think it's finding those ways to adapt. Of course, from an individual talent point of view, we follow the same process that we always have done. You'll always look at the opposition's individual players, make sure that their direct opponents are prepared for all the skills that they have, and then try and set the team up that helps to negate some of those threats. But the process is just a lot more thorough now in the Premier League, because you have to account for the world-class opposition that you're facing and pay it respect without finding that you're paying it too much respect. So yeah, it's a great challenge. We try and adapt each week to give ourselves the best chance to be competitive, and we've managed to do that most weeks.